No way.
Welcome, guys, to our maiden walkthrough video. We're going to walk through this beautiful um, house, 2-bedroom house with guest suites. Yes, hope you tag along for the next 20 minutes or so that we get to see what entails this beautiful home. Thank you. All right, let's go. Okay, so we're going to start with our plot and our floor plan. Well, we are starting with a very simple plot. The basis of giving a land title in the country I am from, Uganda. It's a plot of 100 feet by 50 feet, and that's the minimum of attaining a land title in Uganda. And I believe minimum should be the space that is allowed for people to construct homes. All right, so seeing our plot, it's oriented this side. This side is where we have the road, and that means if you look at our compass, it shows our north is this side. So this is how house is, or say it's oriented in the east, or if you want to be more precise, somewhere around the southeast. Okay, so we see that we divided our plot into something of 3 compartments, where we have first compartment here where we have the garden and parking, then the middle compartment where we have the house, and then the last one we have the utilities and the guest wing. So that means you have the guest house, you have the store, you have the toilets and bathroom, and you have the place to hang clothes. I don't know what's that called, the laundry yard. Yes, about there. So cloth hanging area, yes, how about there? So if you're to see properly on the floor plan here, so you have our main entrance about here, then you enter, if you have your seating arrangement about like this, oriented to this TV wall about there. And here we have something like a shelf, a bookshelf to separate these 2 spaces since it's fully open plan. Then you have a dining table about there. Then you have a breakfast table and a kitchen island. Then you have your kitchen about there, where you have your tops there. You have your sink there, window there, and you have this simple corridor-like quadrangle thing where you have entry to the primary bedroom and also the entry to the kids' bedroom. And then you also, I'm sorry for that, also have the entry to the common bathroom. And all these bedrooms are en suite. If you had to see our house, the way it flows, like our wardrobes are all flushed to the doors, they're all flushed to walls, because they have these nice niches. Yeah, right. So without talking so much about the plan, we could also look at the concept. So why the concept is that way, why is our house oriented this side, why do we have fewer windows here compared to the windows and openings on the other side? So okay, looking at how our house goes, so again, sorry for that. Well, we have our north oriented to this side. That means our sun path is east to west, and that means we shall be having more sun hours on this side of the house. That means for thermal insulation, we need to make sure the direct heat is not penetrating straight into the house. Plus, you need to get enough sunlight, though you don't need to get too much of it to really create that uncomfortability in the house. So our house was oriented in such a format where we have our windows more oriented to the side of the sunset, and it's less of it, plus they're more closer to the wall, so they have with sunshade. And then see here we have a few windows on this side where the sun spends most of its time, And these few windows are also under this like a sunshade area. And then we have a door here where we have where the sunrise will be. So this will be this that will be entering in the morning hours. Plus that is to get some little light in the house here. And then if you're to see also this other side where we have the windows for the guest room, you have the bathroom around there. You can see that they're all oriented to side of a wall where we shall have enough light morning to evening, but we shall not have that scorching heat coming through. Yeah, hopefully you've gotten to understand the concept behind. Plus, you see, this is our nice parkscape, as we called it, where cars can easily access. And if you see how these two cars are parked, you could double them up and they could fit here. So four medium-sized sedans could fit here. And we have a sliding gate. Why did we choose a sliding gate? If it was a pivot gate, at the moment when we have four cars parked in here, the gate will not be able to open. And we can't open a gate towards the side of the road because that will be even more inconveniencing to the road users. So we decided a sliding gate. Now the question would be, would this door be functionable if this gate slides open to the side? Again, no, it will not be functionable. But why did we decide to go like this? Is because there is very minimum moments where you need to have this gate open, plus this gate open, like the minimum moments when you're walking out by foot and also walking out by car. So you've got that beautiful spot where you come to check on the gate, the doorbell rings, you come to check on the gate to see who is there. If someone is walking, you're going to just open for them this door and they enter. Then if someone is maybe on a motorbike or something that requires to, or a car that requires to open up this gate, you're going to open up the gate. So both of them have very few, they have a limited probability of them being used at the same time, which makes it a very beautiful spot for us to have the sliding gate, to minimize the space, and also this simple pivot door for the guys that will be working there. Then we have our small garden here, like a green area where we have our kids playing. You can host a party around and then do some barbecue. Yeah, we have a very good space. And we try to separate the plot in a way that it gives you the green, it gives you the functionality in the small plot. Yeah, all right. I hope that made it justice. And then if you're to continue ahead, this gives us the clear top-down view of fully colored rendered plan, where you get to see how everything works. Now we spoke less about this. I spoke less about this space in the previous plan. And if you're to check them, you're going to see that if I could reduce this a little bit so that I put them side by side, you're going to see that let me press it side by side. Give me a minute. And then here side by side. So this is like a mirrored view of each one of them. So I would say this is the same but oriented in the other side. Yeah. So this space is the same as this space up here. This is a chill up area. I would love to call it the Ministry of Enjoyment. Yeah, I would love to call it that because it's a very nice space where we have chilling, talking around, making those conversations count. You chill up with the big boys, yeah? And you have everything there. You could burn up the barbecue, you could sit and have this conversation, take a sip and drink, and all that in this very nice space, yeah? All right, hopefully we have gotten to understand the whole concept behind this simple space that we created on the side. And again, if you're to look at how the walkway flows, you come and enter right here. You could actually access the guest wing from right here straight through this chill out spot area. All right, without further ado, I think it's time for us to walk into the space to have a 3D walk-in. So again, here you could see from the BIMX file, can see this from the plan point of view, this is what it was. And here you could see that you have the chill spot that I was talking about, and you get to see the plan of each and everything, the parking area, the garden, the cloth hang area, the guest wing and everything. So let's get full on and you see. So this is how the roofing will be working. You see that it's a single-sided sloped roof where you have a pitch of maybe about 5 degrees on each of these, and you collect your water from one single gutter. Then you have one downspout. Maybe you could turn it on. You could have them go to the soil pipe or collect the water from a given point that you want, especially maybe around the water collection area. Okay, enough of talking details. Let's walk into the streets and we get to see what the streets hold for us. Yeah, okay, so if you are to move up, want us to have an entry from the main door. Just to have an entry from the main door. Again, if you look at how they were arranged, they're arranged in a villa format. Again, we shall talk about the specs of how they fit on which type of land and how they could work about. But for now, let's get to the ground and we get to see what you're talking about. So which side could we go to? Which side could we go to? Right? Maybe let's choose this house right here. So I want to call this about like suite number 2, or suite number 2 about house number 2. So this is our entry area. Let's first take time to talk about the front of the plot. So again, you have the road. You have the road, and the road is this right here. And then according to our building bylaws, again in Uganda, you need to leave a space of about maybe 1.5 meters from where the road ends. And I think it's more advisably that you leave maybe about 3 meters if you have the land, for the services. This is the part where you leave for the internet lines to pass, the electrical lines to pass, things that are the government things, if you understand. All right, let's take the house tour. So let us go through this door right here and look at the front view of the house. So this is what you see when you get in from the main gate around right there. So this is what you see. Let's take time to really appreciate and talk about the front facade of the house. So we have this nice wall about here, and it houses the entry of the house. So this is the opening to have you enter the house. Now, normal houses in Uganda, this would be like that front porch. Yeah, so this is a porch but done a little bit differently. It's getting the inspiration from an African basket, and then you have this beautiful pattern. So what we did here is that we got the inspiration of a basket and then cut off its bottom, and so you're able to enter from about right there. So we kept these beautiful patterns going on through, and it created that uniqueness of the facade. Then we also got this bamboo. So this is bamboo that we used to actually cover the front facade, rather than using plaster, because I think I'm not the only one when I say that plaster really bores me due to how plain it is. But this creates that different texture all around. Yeah, and then if you to highlight that the whole wall, you have this stone at the bottom. Again, stone is a very good texture, but it being at the bottom also has that good water resistant feature to the wall. Yeah, especially from the rain drip, from the rain drip water. Then you break up the whole continuousness of the wall with this very nice creeping plant about there, and then you have this Africa-centric design here from bamboo. This pattern, I think you could find this very same pattern on some of I think is it the Masai headbands or something of that sort here. So so this is our actual wall, and yeah, if you're to continue and look around, you have your front garden about here. Very nice, very niche for kids to play around, and also you could have a small sit around party there, something of that sort. And then the cars here are in this orientation for them to bring out what I was saying earlier. Again, as I was saying that this is an orientation of this car, shows you the other possibilities of how you could park here, and then it justifies the fact why we went with a sliding gate. And I think from here you could see the gate from more properly. And I think earlier we discussed about the facade of the gate being uniform with the facade of the front wall, and wanted to create that seamless continuity all around. Right, let's head to the house. So right here you get to see that little planter, and I believe we have a render of a view that is almost similar to this exactly. So it will pop up, and we have this. When you enter about there, you get to have your main door here. So we chose a pivot. The reason being, we love the vibe and the mood the pivot door creates, that you pull it open, you feel invited into a space, or you push it open, you get that invitation to enter a space rather than a sliding door where, I'm sorry to say, to me it feels like you put things apart for you to get in. Yeah, right. So at the entry here, it's a raised platform a little bit. It has the sky roof, and it's a little bit raised. Now the major reason is that we want you to step into a space. Yeah, from right as you move into a space, you step down into a space. So this is the living room with smaller L chairs organized right there. And again, this is a 4x4 meter living room, so it's a 16 meter squared living room. And you see here you have a TV, and you have the cabinetry right there. And I'll have a little bit to expand on this. So these materials are there to highlight the different materials that will be used to form this up. And I believe there is a render that really makes justice to the whole of this space. Now, the reason why we have these materials like this is just to get that differentiation for our render engine to be able to tell the difference of given materials. We have not yet started using the AI features and everything else, so we do our renders manually. Yeah. So and this is our living room, and from such a view, I believe we have a render of such a view. I believe it will pop up, and then you see you could have a little plantation about there. You have the natural light really flowing in, but no direct sunlight. Now that's for thermal insulation of the house. If you don't have the direct sunlight, that means you could naturally control the heat we have in the house without using the mechanical means of using the ACs and whatnot. So if you're to look at this is a bookshelf, but we used it to create a differentiation in space, because right here you have a dining table. So if you wanted to create that difference in space, that this looks more like place to dine from, and this looks like the living room, though they all share an open plan space. Yeah. So you have a 6-seater dining. Preferably, if you want, you could create an 8-seater dining. But Africans, we love to share food and how we love to eat as a whole, a family. So you could have your family sit about there. And so we have a wash hand basin right there. We have a wash hand basin about there, and then cabinetry to store the towels and every other thing. And you could ask, why do we have a wash hand basin here? If you're not from Africa, well, we use cutlery as everyone else, but we love using our hands. You can't have kalu, put it in English, I don't know, is it millet flour? Yeah, and then you create that nice food. Then with our meat, we don't love using cutlery. We use our hands, and this is a very good utilitarian point in the house to have that. Continuingly, we have our breakfast table about here that doubles also as the kitchen island to prepare food and also serve it about there. You could place appliances here, and I believe we have a render of a view that is closer to something of this sort. Yeah, so we shall have a view of that. And here you could see that we have our our breakfast table here that doubles as the kitchen island. You could place your kitchen appliances, about your coffee maker or even your kettle or something. Yeah, this is a very nice table. So given the measurements, it's about maybe a 1.35 by maybe about 2.5 meters of the table, and it's raised to about I think a meter high, and you have these nice breakfast chairs here for the kids or even the adults, but we put it in a format where kids are having breakfast in the morning, heading out to school. Necessarily you couldn't untidy the dining, so they could just have their breakfast about there, and then everyone steps out for starting the day. So let's step into the kitchen and we get to see what we have here. So we have a kitchen that is not that huge but spacious enough to contain the day-to-day users. So starting with, we have our cooker tops here, and then you could place your gas inside these cabinets right there, and then you have if you are to come here a little bit, you could see we have a hood right there. So this is a hood to vent out the air, the hot air, and also the steam and everything. And these are cabinets to cover up the hood venting pipes and all that. And here adjacent, you have your fridge about here. You have your fridge, you have more cabinet space here below the island, and your fridge is facing this side, so it doesn't face into the living room. That means you have privacy of whatever you're having in here, to create that tidiness. Simple, but just in just how things are being oriented around. And if you are to move around and get to see, so we have our sink, our kitchen sink about there. Then you have more cabinetry, more cabinet space, and you could see that the pantry space of this kitchen is quite huge for maybe a 3-people family, like a family of maybe 4 people, 2 kids and a couple. So yeah, that is really enough for this house, because again, it's a 2-bedroom house, so it's not expected to house a huge family. So about right here, we have a door that exits actually to the outside, where we have the utilitarian spaces like the store and the outside toilets, but we shall go there later. Let's first tour the whole house as a whole. We get to see what entails the house. So I believe let's first go to the common bathroom. So right here we have a corridor, and I would love to call it less of a corridor but more of a shared space that's open. I really not a fan of corridors, because corridors are in homes specifically are these spaces that we use once heading to the actual spaces we're going to. That means we use them rarely. So if you place a corridor that is just a corridor and it can't be used for maybe other things to be shared, maybe with a living room or something, most of the time the space is empty. So let's first enter the common bathroom. So this is our common bathroom. It only has our wash and basin and a water closet about there, and basically that is it. What else would you want from such a bathroom? It has this very nice mirror, and I believe we have a render that is almost similar or closer to maybe a view like that, or you will see when it actually pops up. If you are to continue out of the common bathroom, we could head out to the kids' bedroom. So this is the kids' bedroom. It comes out with 2 single beds, and then you have the bed wall, and we try to bring in these materials like leather and then some wood here, to get that warmth into the house and into the room. And you get to see that these bedrooms are not huge. By the way, it's a 3 by 3.5 and meters. So you could calculate the square area of the ground space, and then it's en suite because it comes with its own bathroom here, full-on bathroom. You could see the shower there, the water closet, and the sink with its own mirror right there. I mean, there's no reason why kids should get out of their room to bother other spaces, yet they could have themselves prepared about here, and then everyone is ready to do what they have to do and get out of the room prepared. You have the you have the wardrobe about there, and the wardrobes all sunk properly into the niches. I know we're going to see the floor plans. If you looked at the floor plans earlier while we were starting the video, you could see those simple niches that we created around the walls. Now, those niches helped us to create these spaces that we could use as wardrobes, yet outside they create for us those beautiful eaves over the windows. The continuous design, everything flowed into each other properly. We're going to see them clearly, I think, later on in the video. So that's the kids room. I believe it's time we headed out to the master bedroom, exactly here at the opposite. Now the master bedroom is a little bit wider by I think 0.5 meters. It's a 3.5 by 3.5 on each side, and it comes with its own I would say this is a queen size double bed, and then it has its own bathroom right there, full-on bathroom, and its own wardrobe about here. And again, the wardrobe follows the same principle, being hidden up in their niches, and this creates this seamlessness with the wall. It's flat, it doesn't step out, and I believe that's like a really good usage of space. Yeah. So if you have to step out into the the bathroom, the bathrooms are of the same size. I believe the bathrooms are 1.5 by 2.8 meters each bathroom, and they're well spaced out. If you to look at the orientation, and again, I would love to expound a little bit on the orientation that I think makes a lot of sense. So you come into the bathroom in the morning, I believe you wash your face first, or brush your teeth, and I believe this would be the best. The wash and basin would be the best thing you could go to in the morning, yeah, first, and then you would want to take a sheet, maybe something of that. So yeah, so you take the sheets right there, and then you head to the shower to freshen up and finish everything. I believe these two right here are the most used. This and this are the most used in a day, comparably to a shower, because a shower you could do it how many times? 3-4 times. Again, sorry for the interference there. So you have our mirror there, and so I was saying that these are the most used. So you shower maybe 3 times a day if you shower a lot, and then I believe you have used the toilet multiple times, and then you use the wash and basin a little bit more multiple times. But this orientation, the advantage that it gives us is that this is how water actually flows. It would be better to have a sprout into that corner right there, and also maybe to have another sprout maybe around there, and the sprout around there or back there to take out the water properly. And this orientation, you get to enter the room and you use what is supposed to be used. Yeah. And I love that bench right there, by guys. This bench, guys that have been to bathrooms with these benches knew that the convenience it creates you to sit around there, and then you scrub your feet or something. If you're not African, you may not understand some of these things, but yeah, that is a very, very good thing. So the windows are not huge windows. They're 1.8 by 1.5. So, they are really nice windows. I would say reasonably sized. They bring in the air, they bring in the light, and yeah, that's it. The bed walls are not extravagant, nothing too much going on, and just creates the mood and the vibe. So that's it. And if you're to step out now, I believe it's high time we went to the back of the house. We shall use this door again. We shall use this door again to go to the Ministry of Enjoyment, as I love to call it. But let's head out to the stores and the outside toilets, and you get to see what we're talking about here. Yeah. So if you use this door and step out right here, you can see above it again we have these glass roofs to get the light here, and also protect you from things like those little rains that could be raining, but you need to use the outside. So you have this space right there. You see how the neighbors could be looking like about there. And let's step into this store. So this store is put in place to store the things you can't place in your kitchen on a daily. Things like the bunches of matoke. This is what we do as South Africans. Bunches of matoke. I wouldn't say you have your charcoal in here, but some things could be there. Yeah, the things you can't take into your pantry space in the main kitchen. That's what this space is for. And then you come right here. You come to the toilets. So you have an outside shower. You have maybe a toilet about right there, and maybe another toilet about right there. Yeah, then by the time you get out, you have your sinks about there, and that is it. Nothing else you would have wanted, and simple roofs there. I believe a nice house. Yeah? And then right here you have your area to hang your clothing after washing them. Of course, you can do the washing also from here. And if you're to walk around, you could see that here in the back side you have enough space maybe to do a little bit of your plantation, not too much of it, a little bit of maybe tomatoes and something. We love a home that could really grow the simple stuff. God blessed us with this weather, we should use it. And also this side you have more space to put a little bit of planters and everything to plant your stuff. If you to look at our windows orientation, I believe our windows are already placed up well. And this is what I was talking about earlier, that these spaces right here create those niches for the wardrobes, and then if you connect them properly with the roof, you create these simple eaves to do that. I think the sun is also doing us something good. You can see how they're shading it, and then the running water also drops off very well without getting into this inner wall that has access to the windows and everything. Need to design based on the elements, and so let's get back into the house and head to that good place called the Ministry of Enjoyment, as I had called it earlier. So when you step into your kitchen again, you move around. So, excuse my moving around is a little bit amateur, but well, let's head through this door, and right here, see, we have this nice area. I believe we have renders of this very good space. I believe they will pop up. They will show you what the actual dream is to create here. So if this is a place, I believe, for the adults to have their good tea time, mommy and daddy to talk about some stuff. Maybe daddy and the big boys are talking about stuff, and you want to have to be outside. You could place maybe a television about right there, and then you watch a movie from the outside here, or have some simple kapati at home. And for those who didn't understand, the word culture is a smaller word in our language to mean something so yeah. So you have a party right there, and then you continue heading out. You have the benches, and these are the lights. This is lighting, and then this is a different material to break up the continuity of plaster. Yeah. So if you have to continue this side, you see we have another door open right here, and this is our guest house, I would say. So the guest room, and again we have this architecture continue of those glass roofs, and then you have a simple sofa right there. And I mean, it's a nice guest house all on suite. You have their bed about right there, and it's a simple room with a wardrobe, and then you have their own bathroom right there. I think it's full-on bathroom, and that's it. Nothing much, nothing fancy, nothing crazy going on, but it's enough to even host a couple at home. Yeah, you could have maybe a sibling or someone come with their partner, and you also get to have their privacy. And you could see it's on the same house with the store and the toilets, the same development, but they actually have enough privacy that they can't access the kitchen and the other parts rather than going through the main house. Yeah, so I believe that is a well-planned space that everyone gets to share. And due to the fact that they are their actual daily interface will be the Ministry of Enjoyment, they could live as if they're living at a resort. Yeah, then you could pass here again. You have these renders will show you they are actually like hedges. I would say hedges, like greenery that grows up in such a format. And I believe this is a simple plot, very not very small, but simply placed, and it's come out really very nice. Again, as I had said, we could maybe cut through, and you get to see the actual plans, as I had promised earlier, for us to see the cut through of these floor plans, so that you can get to appreciate the niches. So these were the niches that I was talking about. These niches about right now, and you see, if done properly, we have housed the wardrobes. Yeah, so the wardrobes flush actually directly straight with the walls, yet they have enough space. So it gives you that full-on space that you need for the whole room without us having interference. Yeah, I think that's all. So let's talk a little bit about specification of creating such a given environment, a given neighborhood. So if you have to speak numbers, each of these houses is in a plot of 50 by 100. So if you know how land is put out in a square area, you get to know that an acre is an equivalent of 200 feet by 200 feet lot. So if one of these houses is 50 by 100, that means 4 of these only make about 100 by 100. That means 8 of these fit on only 1 acre. So considerable, this is a 10-meter road with other developments on the side, things like I think they spoke about them earlier, we spoke about them earlier, things like in Uganda, this space that you get to live outside your build line, the perimeter wall, it's about 1.5 from where the road starts at. Preferably, I would say you would go for a 3 meter, but since this is a private development, then the roads also will be your private development. You could do a 1.5 meters specifically for services, things like internet, things like water, things like electricity. They all go through that space. That's what's given by the government. And so speaking of numbers again, constructing one of these houses roughly would cost you about 20,000 US dollars in Ugandan money. That could be about 76 million. And that is to construct one house without the cost of the land. Now, if you're speaking about an area around Kampala, maybe 8 kilometers from Kampala, that would be about 30 million, I guess, to get one of these plots. That is titled, again, land titled. And then if you consider that together, so 30 million in Ugandan money, that would be almost 10,000 US dollars, because like 30 million, that's almost 8,000 something. So 10,000 plus the 20,000, that's about 30,000 to develop only one of these houses. But again, that is if you're building one without the things like economies of scale. If you're building 8, I believe the price really goes down to maybe close to about 15 or 14,000 per unit. And then if you bought the land all together, I believe if you're not buying far away from Kampala, you're looking at a 25-kilometer radius, you could get an acre of land at maybe 40 or 50 million now. That's about 15,000 US dollars to put up for 8 houses. Yep. And I believe this would be a very good development for you to make off money. And you know, right now in Uganda, we believe that yes, our government is not in a very good position to create great neighborhoods, but privately, I believe people have done very, very well. Who have done very, very well, and we could create these more and more of these, and you know, we could do our own developments very well. Because what else? What really stops us from creating this? Well, thanks guys for watching this walkthrough, and hopefully you will watch more walkthroughs to come. Well, you can get the blueprints of this house, the working drawings, if you really want them, from the link that will be in the description. And then you could also send us an email that will be in the description of the video, and then we could talk more about this house. And more of such developments are going to come. If you to look at the roofing is also very simple. Things like this, you know, these are developments who would love to do developments that could actually easily be what is it called, actualized. Yeah. So thank you. And for those who love cars, yes, I got to put for you your BMWs. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully we are going to watch more and more to come. Peace.